Are your running shoes wearing out way too fast? Do you constantly battle niggles and injuries after just a few hundred miles in them? The secret to healthier feet and longer lasting footwear isn't necessarily buying more expensive shoes. It's about how you use the ones you have. Discover the shoe rotation philosophy that could save you money and help you run stronger and longer. Even if it doesn't save you money on shoes, if you can stay injury free and not go to the doctor so much, it's definitely worth it, because a doctor's visit is a lot more expensive than an extra pair of shoes. If you get a dead shoe, you're starting to lose the cushioning. You're more likely to have injuries from shock absorption, or if the shoe doesn't fit right, you start getting an imbalance, because whereas that shoe fits you really well to begin with, if you wear down the heel a lot, you're striking in a different way. It's going to affect your body differently. There's a simple strategy using shoe rotation that the elites use. They basically rotate usually between different shoes based on their use case. Are they training hard? Are they training long? Do they need a recovery day? And they have different shoes for each of those purposes, and it helps them with injury prevention as they're putting in major amounts of miles. Cushioning breaks down on a molecular level with each run, leading to a loss of responsiveness. If you have a compressed foam, you get more impact on your body, more stress, and both joint and to your feet and up the chain. One of the best things you can do is rotate shoes, even if it were the same shoe in different parts of life. Like one may have 50 miles on it, one may have 250 miles on it. That even is going to help some, because it gives a little bit of variability. And then just the fact that you're rotating shoes gives the foam in one shoe a little bit more time for that foam to decompress. It's able to expand back into place and keep giving you the cushion it requires. If you run in the same shoe every day, day after day, that foam is going to compress, and it's going to not protect you as well and not last as long. Best way to build out a rotation is to use different types of running shoes for different purposes. You don't have to have a huge rotation. A lot of people use like a 2-shoe rotation where they have a daily trainer, and then they'll have a speed shoe which they use for races or for their faster workouts. That's good enough, especially if you alternate between the two. But if you're running 5 days a week of daily runs and 1 or 2 speed days, that may not be enough, because you really want to be able to alternate, not run in the same shoe 2 days in a row. A good way to do a 3-shoe rotation is to have a daily trainer, a speed shoe, and then maybe a recovery shoe, something that's higher cushion. Another thing that can help is even varying, just the shoe itself being a little bit different. The varied footwear helps strengthen your feet and leg muscles by hitting just in a very slightly different ways. It helps distribute the stress a little differently and helps prevent overuse injuries, which is really the biggest source of injuries in our sport. I can tell you, working in a running shoe store, lots of people that run in multiple pairs of shoes and rotate have stayed healthier and are able to keep going. It's not a panacea. It's not the only solution. I can even say I used to get injured all the time. I actually kind of leaned back to when I changed my foot strike, shortened my strike, shortened my stride length, and hit a little bit more forward on my foot. I started getting injured less, but I also now can try to trace it back. That's also when I started rotating more shoes. Before that, I really usually ran in 1 shoe, or at most 2. And then when I got to where I was rotating and not running in the same shoe basically consecutive days, that's when my injuries got a lot better. And over the last 15 years, I've had very few injuries other than falling or things that are not related to running, with my old back or things like that. But anyway, there are some people that even a running shoe rotation where you're going to go run on the trail some, and having one of your shoes being a trail shoe, that's great as well. Now, if you run on the trail every day, you may want more than 1 trail shoe, just so you hit the impact a little different. It's not quite as critical on the trail, because on the trail you're getting such a varied surface that you're less likely to get an overuse injury. You're having to be more, the terrain is so variable that's giving you a lot of variation as to how your foot strikes and your body reacts. So it's doing a lot of the work for you that you get out of switching shoes. But anyway, something to think about. Some of the simple ways to keep track of shoes, you can put it in an app and say which shoe you're running in, and it'll track your miles for you. I do it by just keeping a piece of paper with little sticky notes, and I'll put the shoe down and I'll write down the mileage. Each time I run, I cross out the line and add the mileage to it. It's old school way of doing it, but it works well for me. I've been doing it for years. The only reason there's an advantage to that is it gives you an idea, if you ran in a similar sort of shoe, how long that shoe lasted before it started feeling worn out, where you started getting aches and pains, or you could tell the cushion was wearing out. And as this way you can monitor it, and as your mileage for that type of shoe gets kind of to the same level, that same model of shoe, you know you're about to have to retire it and replace it, so you can start looking for a deal or looking for another shoe to replace it. So I find it very helpful. Another thing people do is they'll use a Sharpie on the bottom of the sole and write down their mileage. I don't do that. Like I said, I use the little sticky note method and write it manually, but tons of people use apps now. Anyway, I think having a shoe rotation, even though I've made a video a while back about how you can now run in a single pair of shoes, I definitely think a rotation is beneficial, especially to runners that are running multiple days a week. If you're running 3 days a week and you spread them out, it's probably not as critical because your foam does have time to bounce back. But I think still having at least a second pair where you can change that stress point, the point it's hitting in your shoe, hitting your foot and going up your body, will still be beneficial to you. Anyway, something to consider. Just my thoughts on shoe rotation. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the thumbs up, the like button. If you're interested in more of my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And other than that, I hope you're having a wonderful day and keep moving.